Assalamualaikum everyone, my name is Hamzah and this is my interview for my family management class. So here I have Mr. Faisal and Mis Zuraidah, and would you like to introduce yourselves to the camera?
Yes, my name is Faisal. I am originally from Burma, Myanmar, and I came to Malaysia some 30 years ago and got married and then have family here. And I am an engineer by profession, so I do kind of instrumentation and measurement and stuff like that. Yeah.
Assalamualaikum, I am Mis Zuraidah. I am Malaysian. I used to study in the International Islamic University of Malaysia in the Faculty of Engineering. I have engineering background, but now I am not practicing, and I am currently a housewife.
Okay, so right now we move on to the burning question that we all have is, how did you guys meet?
We met in the university. So being an international Islamic university, I am the international student, she is a Malay student, that's how we met.
Yeah, in that metal forming class.
Oh, okay, metal forming class.
Yeah.
Okay, I see. So over the course of your marriage, which is about how many years already?
25?
24 or 25?
24, yeah.
24. Okay. What are the main cultural differences that you guys have noticed over the course of that time period?
Well, there are very subtle difference in actual culture because we both are Muslims, so culture is more or less same or compatible. And yeah, there are some very little things, yeah, so even having kenduri, hantaran and all those kind of things have quite a difference, but it is not that difficult to understand and not that difficult to adapt to.
From my point of view, the language I find it, of course, very different. And food is also different, but not too much different. And the food patterns, and for example, the Burmese, they mostly eat beef, chicken, or Malays. I don't know, at least my family, we used to eat fish, more on fish, So only that. This is more on the family culture instead of the ethnic culture itself.
So yeah, after noticing the main cultural difference, how did you overcome the differences? I mean, the subtle differences.
Yes, these differences are more like something to learn, to something to explore, rather than something that is a difficulty. Yeah. So, for example, I'm introduced to many more types of food than I'm used to. So this is some kind of I could try. And then the other thing is that some languages. Yes, I learned to speak in Malay, so possible to speak and converse as well. And then a little bit more differences is since she is from Penang, so the language is also different. Yeah? So this becomes a little bit more challenge, yeah, because Penang people speak a little bit differently than what around here people speak. So yeah, that is a thing, but most of the time we speak also English, so this has more or less this could have overcome it that way. Yeah, so these differences are something to learn and appreciate, rather than it has become a issue or a problem to solve.
I agree with that, but even though I find that my husband's language, the mother tongue, is somehow is a tonal language, and I find it a bit difficult, but I try my best to understand some phrase, the words and how it is expressed. And the food is, alhamdulillah, no problem at all. When my mother-in-law was still around, she taught me so many their food. And also I learned from other in-laws. And yeah, so there is no problem at all. I really enjoy eating the food, the Burmese food, and so no problem at all.
So we might say that overall you had more fun than difficulty in understanding each other.
Exactly.
In terms of cultural differences, yes, this has become more fun.
Oh, that is very interesting. How about raising up your children? How many children do you have, and how did the differences affect raising up all your children?
Well, we have 7 children, and these children are raised in more or less the same environment, just a little bit more religious than most of the other families. Yeah, they go to the school, which is also the mainstream school, not the special private school or whatsoever, so they get in touch with also those local friends of them, so they don't feel themselves awkward or they don't feel themselves a little bit different than the local people. That is the most important thing, because this is more important for them, the children, to blend to the environment and then the system, rather than having it some kind of odd one out or something, having some kind of a special issues for this between mixed language or cultural barrier. But since they are going through the government schools from the very, very young age, so this becomes not much of a problem. There are some issues from time to time, but it is not really a game stopper. They can really blend in well with their compatriots, and then so there is not an issue. Yeah, and then of course there may be some things, yeah, but since we always uphold the principle of Islam, so this is very easy to solve.
No, I agree to that. And another one is this is about the upbringing, right?
Yes.
So at least I don't want my children to have this identity crisis. So since they were born in Malaysia, they have mother is Malay, so they are half Malay. So I believe that they should converse well in Malay and not forgetting English or probably their father's mother tongue. And because English is also important, because their uncles from the father's side, the relatives, they really, when they meet, so they need to be able to speak.
I see. So, okay. Moving on to the next question is about your own respective families. How did they react to your choice of spouse 24 years ago?
Well, that is not really a big issue, because the only condition for my marriage is my wife has to be a Muslim, so it is not at all any issue to accept in the family. There's a little bit different culture, but it's the same religion, and then more or less everything else is the same, so it is well accepted.
Not so for my family. My father at that time, he was worried, since I'm the youngest in the family. So he has this worry that if I marry a foreigner, so the foreigner will bring me back to his country. But I guess no, he's no worried. No more problem.
So it all ends well.
Alhamdulillah.
So the next question might be a bit heavy, but it is about how do you guys resolve conflicts with your differing perspective on some things.
Yeah, the conflicts mostly are not arise from the cultural difference or any incompatibility in cultural perspectives or whatsoever. It is just normal husband and wife conflicts that are common to most of the couples. So this is not really any outstanding conflict due to this cultural issues or background issues. Mostly, yeah, being the same religion helps a lot in this sense. Yeah, so this is in such sense the conflicts are not really stem from the difference in culture. It's just sometimes a misunderstanding a little bit here and there. Of course, there's always most of the conflicts.
I share the same view as well. So you cannot say that the conflicts. So far, if I can remember, there's nothing due to the cultural difference. That's why we have the conflict more. It's because of our personalities, our opinions, but it's resolved.
Alright. So the next question is a bit more fun. Okay. Have you created any new family traditions? Since you both have different traditions, differing backgrounds. So now that you form one family, anything new and coming from it?
Well, I adopted my own family tradition of eating together. So our family, whoever is not in hostel or not going to overseas, and we always have our dinner and lunch and breakfast almost all the time together. And even if we were to go outside and eat, also we try to have it in the same dinner table. So this becomes more or less tradition, which I can see that it is not really practiced in Malaysia. So this is something we may want to do that. And then the other things we have, since we came from the different food backgrounds, there are occasions that we mix and match, all become a fusion food, so this becomes interesting. Yeah, so yeah, there are some fruits that my wife has never seen before. Yeah, so there are some vegetables that I have never seen before. Also, I eat. So these are the things, and then also the most important thing is we have some kind of a Bulan Ramadan tradition where we always prepare the food. Yeah, we always have the sahur together. We cook the sahur together. We cook the iftar, and then we prepare everything, and minimizing the outside food or this buying food from outside. So this becomes some kind of a tradition. We do that. Yeah. And most of the other traditions are quite common. So this is not really. These only things are something that is a little bit unique to our family because of this different backgrounds.
That one I can say that is very important. Somehow I don't say the Burmese culture, but I find it's from his family culture. So, but from my point of view, always is whatever is good from both cultures. I always tell my kids, take them, practice them. You can take them as example from both cultures. And if from any of both cultures, if they are not good, please leave it.
So the next one is, from your point of view, what keeps your family strong?
Well, it is a bit of understanding and support, as well as understanding has to be a little bit more because of a different cultural background. Not much difference, but there are some differences, subtle differences that might create into some big problems. So we have to make sure that discussing, and then we have a very open communication. So we talk in a very frank way, without hiding, without keeping things secret from each other. So, and then also we have a very open financial discussions. So this becomes more understanding of each other. Yeah. So the most important thing is make sure that the communications are clear and communications are honest, and then these are the minimal expectations that we have, and then this becomes a very good asset to us.
The trust is built once you have the open communication, and I always remind the kids, don't tell lies. Lies are not accepted in the family. Just be honest with your feeling, what you feel, things can be discussed. And from then on, I think that is what's most important, because trust has to be built.
Yes.
Over time, right? So that is also, I believe, that is the most important thing. And I also put my trust in my husband since at the beginning that we have different language. He can be free to do anything, but I trust that he's doing all the right thing for the family.
Yes. So what is important is have trust.
Yes.
And always be honest.
And open communication.
So the last conversation here for today is, what would be your piece of advice for anyone planning for mixed marriage?
Mixed marriage is perfectly okay if you have same religion with each other. That will be a big problem if the religion is not the same, or this religion is forced upon, or it is just because of want to get married, change religion. So this is going to create a big problem in the future. So common religion is a very, very great asset, and then the cultural differences can be overcome, because no human nature is more or less common for most of the human races around the world. Yeah, we are both from Asia, so most of the Asian traditions we share that. But if I were from Africa or I were from America, where the culture may be a little bit more different, but the thing is, most importantly, the religion is the same, and then the being open and then being honest will be a good asset for this. So that's the advice. So don't be afraid. It is not a problem. We can make it work. Just that it should, if possible, religion has to be originally the same, not to make up the same. So that's very important.
Absolutely, I strongly agree with that. Because having the same religion, when we pray 5 times a day, it's the same thing. If he is from different religion or I am from different religion, so that is so impossible to make. Because maybe you will find it fun at the beginning because okay, this lady is beautiful, so I want to marry. Or that guy is handsome, I want to marry. At the beginning, yes, it can be fun, but as you have to go to the marriage, you get children, then you will start finding what is the purpose of life, how do I bring up the kids, then that will become a major issue by then, which might be unresolvable by then. So having my piece of advice is choose the future spouse with the same religion.
So the key word is having the same religion,
Yes.
and the sky is the limit.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Marvelous. Okay. So thank you very much for lending me your time for tonight. So I conclude this interview for today, and thank you everyone for tuning in, and goodbye and assalamualaikum.
Thank you. Assalamualaikum.
Assalamualaikum.